This was an interesting one here. League insiders voted Steph Curry as the best American player right now. Anthony Edwards received 3 less votes than Steph.
No LeBron? What are we doing here?
One player who did not receive any votes, Ramona, for best American player was LeBron James.
Okay.
However, the scouts, coaches, and execs were asked where he would be in a year, with the majority saying he would still be on the Lakers or retired from the league entirely. But before we even get to what the future has in store for LeBron, let's take a look at the roster he'll have for year 23. Bobby, take it away.
Well, one thing we do know.
Start the season, though, for Tyler Hero. All right.
Trade value.
To the stalemate between restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors, it continues. His agent, Aaron Turner, he told the Hoop Collective podcast that they're prepared to take the $8 million one-year qualifying offer. So the Warriors, remember, they'd reportedly offered a 3-year, $75 million deal, but the team is sticking with that team option in the final year, and that has been a sticking point. So whether it's a team or a player option, that would guarantee Kaminga $48 million in the first 2 seasons. Since we're talking money, we need to bring in Mr. Money Moves, Bobby Marks, our front office insider. Bobby, why would Kaminga take the qualifying offer instead of that guaranteed, $40 million more?
Yeah, first, give credit to Brian Windhorst. I don't think I've seen an agent come on a podcast and negotiate for his client like he did, Aaron Turner did with Jonathan Kuminga here. I think from his perspective, he's looking at it first. The $8 million qualifying offer gets him to unrestricted free agency next year. It also gives him the right to veto any trade coming forth. It was also mentioned, and Anthony Slater has mentioned this, that Kaminga has taken out a insurance policy in case he does get injured. So there is the mitigating cost as far as future salary that could be coming in. But I do think, Malik, I think there's a compromise here when you're looking at it. And I know we've talked about the 2-year, the team option here. I think you could still do the team option. And I think what you can do if you're Golden State, let Kaminga have the right to veto any trade. But here's a little wrinkle. If he was traded and Golden State exercised that team option, guess what happens? He no longer has the right to approve any trade any further. So I think there is a common ground, at least from the Warriors' perspective, to get a deal done, because I think this is kind of the last resort both sides want to go through, is have him play out on that 1-year deal.
Bobby, when I read that the Warriors had offered him the 3-year deal, the 3 years with the team option on the on the 3rd year, I felt like they were the ones who blinked. Like, that to me was a significant development in these negotiations. That was a concession, because all summer long it had been a 1-and-1 team option on the 2nd year. Now it gave him another guaranteed year. So that's, instead of being $24 million 2 years, but only 12 of that's guaranteed, now this is an extra $40 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money, and I felt like the Warriors already blinked by offering him that. And I know we're hung up on this team option versus player option, but Bob, you tell me if I'm wrong, but that felt like in the stare down that Kaminga has already got them to move.
Well, I don't think they're going to move any further. I think certainly when you talk to people close to the organization, I think we're kind of here we are, right? It's either going to be the qualifying offer or it's going to be one of those offers that have already been on the table here. Listen, we've got 2 weeks until October 1st. That's the deadline when this qualifying offer goes off the table, unless Golden State wants to extend it. Remember, also, there's also that offer for 3 years. I think it was $54 million. That was straight, no options at all there. So there are different scenarios for Kaminga, but as we heard on the podcast, they're going to dig their heels in the ground here, and they're going to look at what's best for Jonathan Kuminga. And if it's what's best is 1 year and taking $16 million less, they're going to go out and do that.
And I think where people are maybe being confused is their perspective of what's best for Jonathan Kuminga is not necessarily maximizing the value of the contract. They're looking, Jonathan Kuminga thinks he is a blossoming star.
Right.
Clearly, the Golden State Warriors do not agree with that. Steve Kerr does not agree with that. Jonathan Kuminga wants to be in a situation where he can thrive. And he says, hey, if I'm leaving money on the table now, he's betting if he gets in a situation where he'll have the ball more, where he can thrive, that the money will come. You can agree or disagree, but his perspective isn't, let me get paid as much as possible right now.
Right, and you heard that up close on the Hoop Collective podcast. Again, Brian Windhorst, you can listen to that interview. It is up now wherever you get your podcast. Tim, have you checked your mail?
I have not.
Well, you know, October 1st is still a couple of days away, but you might have missed an invitation from Anna Wintour to Fashion Week. And in case read Dave McMenamin's in-depth look at this summer of Luka Doncic and how it could be transformational for the Los Angeles Lakers franchise. And how lucky for us, Dave is joining us right now. I think we might need to transform the photo we have here of Luka Doncic. It's no longer reflective of how he's showing up, not at FIBA and not now. But Dave, the Lakers, they showed their commitment back. Luka's been showing it all summer. What exactly did that look like, both in person and from afar?
Well, in person, the Lakers had a group travel to Poland to see him before the start of Eurobasket, and that was a 6,000-mile trip. Rob Pelinka got in the plane, Jeannie Buss got in the plane, the Rambi got in the plane.
Rambi.
They wanted to make it clear to Luka, if something's important to you, it's also important to us. This was really a chance to establish the first footing together after the whirlwind of the midseason trade.
Yeah.
And that extended as the Lakers went back to the States. There was a group chat before and after every game between Laura Beth Seeger, Luka's manager, Javi Barrio, his physiotherapist, and then Rob Pelinka and Dr. Leroy Sims, who's the head of medicine for the Lakers. And they just wanted to make sure that, hey, is your body right?
Yeah.
Is there any tweaks that we saw in the game? Did we do anything? And then beyond that, they were so, forthcoming and generous with their resources. You know, Slovenia is a country of 2 million people. They had their equipment manager in touch with the Slovenian national team. They're like, if you need any gear, we can send stuff, airmail to you. And really, it was about, you are going to be the face of our franchise, and we want you to be as comfortable as possible in reaching that kind of stature. And if that includes playing for your national team, we're okay with it. We endorse it. We want to see it because we want to see you in your full form. And take control of your career. If you do it, it's going to get us where we want to go too.
And there's really interesting details in this piece about Luka's intermittent fasting, about the Lakers, what their commitment is here to Luka Doncic. But you two cover the Lakers very closely. You have covered Luka more closely than anyone really in his career. And so I want to really distill down what is important to know here, because fans are seeing the pictures and there's a lot of excitement. But Luka's been the face of a franchise before, right? What is different right now, Tim, from your reporting?
I think the slap in the face of the trade and the way it happened, the aftermath, that has been a big-time wake-up call for Luka. I think it has forced him to grow up. And look, there's been flashes of a commitment to conditioning for Luka in the past. This feels like something that is the turning of a corner. You know, can he maintain it through the course of the season? We'll see. But you're seeing maturation, Luka. The way he interacted and led a Slovenia team. With, you know, Dave,
had you ever seen that before?
Not to that degree, and he didn't have to be the leader in Dallas. You know, Kyrie Irving was. You know, Jalen Brunson was the vocal guy. On that Slovenian national team, and you know, in Eurobasket, they put the camera in the huddle, so you really saw it. But I think that was evidence of maturation. The way that he has worked with the front office of the Lakers in a partnership, recruited. These are things. This is different than it was in Dallas. It's certainly the relationship with the Mavericks front office completely broke down. But even in the good times, this is a different approach by Luka. The media approach has been different. Now, when you're talking about maturation, what's the other thing you talk about? Ranting at the referees. You know what, though? A guy who coached him in Dallas was telling me he thinks that's also tied to conditioning.
I see that.
When there's fatigue, there's frustration, and when Luka's frustrated, the refs are going to hear about it. So maybe a better conditioned Luka. I'm not saying can totally cut that out, but cut that down.
So, Tim, I got a question. I mean, you literally wrote the book on Luka Doncic. How does this level of care and commitment and the way the Lakers front office and ownership are treating him compared to the way that Mark Cuban did? Because I felt like Mark Cuban had that sort of embrace of players, and we, you know, the Lakers take care of superstars almost like any other franchise. Is this back to the beginning?
It's back to the beginning, but it's a different Luka. And again, early in Luka's career, his thing was basically like, hey, I hoop. It's not my job to be the general manager. It's not my job to recruit players. He didn't involve himself in personnel discussions at all until they botched the Brunson situation. He's looking around saying, whoa, we've got no chance to contend here. So similar approach that Cuban had, obviously post-Cuban, not so much.
Yeah.
Completely different Luka, though.
And maybe another growth area that we saw in Eurobasket. Yeah. We know he's going to score, right? And he scored historic
this
numbers.
Was a great detail.
35 points per game, almost the most since the guy in 1989 in Eurobasket. he defended. And the Lakers assistant coach Greg St. Jean was on the Slovenian staff. And one of the things he did was put together a video edit of all the plays that he saw. Luka committing the defense, talking on defense, being in the right proper spacing. And he showed it to the Slovenian national coach. He said, hey, I want to show you who our best defender is. And he's expecting to see not Luka Doncic.
Right.
And after watching the video evidence, he's like, I see it. And if he can carry that over to the Lakers, I mean, obviously the Lakers were one of the better defending teams in the second half of the season. If they can be that from the start of the season, we'll see where they can go.
And Luka Doncic is going to be a huge piece of everything that the Lakers do. The other sort of piece in all of this that we haven't mentioned yet, of course, is LeBron James. And he sat down with Speedy Morman on Complex. Just take a listen to what he had to say when the topic of his retirement came up.
Listen, guys, every time I pick up something new does not mean retirement. It's like, oh, with chopsticks. Oh, he's retiring. Oh, I've seen he wear a T-shirt that's too big. Oh, retirement. Oh, he picked up golf. Retirement. It's like, it's just something I want to do. It's just a little hobby. But retirement is coming. It is coming. It's just not here just yet.
Does just yet mean like today or tomorrow? What's your takeaway here?
Well, first of all, shout out to my Q's brother, Speedy Morman. Great interview. Yeah. Very compelling, LeBron, that you got in that sit down. But honestly, I've spoken to countless people close to LeBron over this summer after kind of the murkiness of the statement from Rich Paul that was given to Shams Charania after LeBron picked up his option for year 23. And most of them are telling me, I think we're pretty close to the end, but I don't know if LeBron knows where he's at. Does he know that this is from day one going to be the last year? Will he start to feel it? Will he start to feel otherwise and say, you know what, this is a really good Lakers team, and maybe we can do something special this year and extend it? Yep. You know, one person close to him told me at one point, if the Lakers win, is he going to walk away from the chance to defend it and get 6 rings versus 5? I mean, obviously, there are many permutations out there, and we have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think that's a really human approach to all of this, right? And we've seen players, Kobe Bryant, they didn't necessarily declare it at the beginning of the season. You feel it out a little bit before that decision is made. I'm sure we will be talking a lot more as we approach the season on these Los Angeles.
Warriors Nation, the energy is electric right now because the Golden State Warriors are not just standing still. This team is preparing for one of the most exciting and potentially explosive trade deadlines in years, and all signs point to something big brewing in the Bay. Let's talk about it, because the rumors are swirling and the possibilities are absolutely massive. We all know what went down last season. The Warriors shocked the league by pulling off a huge move to bring in Jimmy Butler, forming a star trio with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. For a moment, it looked like Golden State had put itself right back into that championship conversation. But then Steph's injury in the playoffs derailed everything, leaving us with a painful what could have been. Still, that taste of what Butler and Curry could do together, that's the kind of energy that makes Warriors fans believe this team isn't done yet. Now the focus shifts to the 2025-26 season, and the whispers are clear. The Warriors are expected to target 2 of the biggest superstars in the NBA if they feel they're one piece away by the trade deadline. And when I say big, I mean massive. The names being floated are LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Just imagine that for a second. Steph Curry and Giannis on the same court wearing the same jersey. Or Steph and LeBron teaming up after years of battling in the finals. The NBA would absolutely explode if that happened. The logic is there. Jonathan Kuminga's contract situation has been front and center all offseason. The Warriors want him back, but on terms that give them flexibility. Kuminga and his camp want a player option, while the front office has been holding firm on a team option. If Kuminga agrees to a deal north of $20 million annually, it creates a perfect trade slot, something that can be packaged if the right superstar becomes available. That's why all the speculation around him matters so much. He's not just a young talent. He's also a key chess piece in Golden State's strategy. And look around the league. LeBron's future with the Lakers is more uncertain than ever. He's monitoring every move that front office makes. And if Los Angeles doesn't show it can contend right now, a trade request is not out of the question. If that happens, Golden State would be one of the most attractive destinations because pairing Steph and LeBron instantly creates must-watch basketball and a legitimate title contender. Giannis, on the other hand, has remained loyal to Milwaukee, but questions are growing louder about his long-term commitment. Since that 2021 championship, the Bucks have stumbled in the postseason, and Giannis is too competitive to waste years outside the contender circle. If the Bucks can't prove they're still on the path to another title, the pressure to make a move could open the door for a blockbuster trade. And once again, the Warriors, with their mix of stars, contracts, and championship culture, would be right there in the mix. Let's not forget, the Warriors' identity has always been about finding that edge. Whether it was drafting Steph, developing Klay, unleashing Draymond, or pulling off the Kevin Durant signing, this organization has a track record of swinging big when it counts. Adding Jimmy Butler last season was the latest reminder. And now, with Steph still playing at an elite level at 37, there is no time to waste. He's made it clear. He still believes he can perform at the highest level and chase championships. The front office knows this window is not open forever, so expect aggressive moves if the opportunity presents itself. Here's the bottom line. If Golden State resolves the Kuminga situation smartly, they'll be in perfect position to make a trade that could shock the league. Whether it's LeBron, Giannis, or another star that shakes loose, this team is going to be hunting for that missing piece to push them over the top. Combine that with a healthy Curry, a battle-tested Butler, and Draymond's leadership, and you've got a recipe for another run at the crown. Warriors Nation should be excited because the best might be yet to come. So now I've got to ask you, Warriors family, what do you think? Would you want to see Steph and LeBron finally unite? Or is Giannis the dream that takes this dynasty to another level? Do you trust Kuminga to stay and grow into that third star? Or should the front office cash in his value for a proven superstar? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're hyped for what's ahead. And don't forget to subscribe because this season is shaping up to be unforgettable. Warriors Nation, let's ride together into this new chapter. The dynasty isn't finished yet, not by a long shot.